세션의 진행을 맡아주실 좌장님을 소개해드리겠습니다. 좌장님은 한중일 삼국협력사무국의 사카타나츠코 사무차장님이십니다.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 17th Jeju Forum. Thank you for joining us today for China-Japan-Korea Cooperation for Smart and Inclusive Solutions Towards an Age-Friendly Society. Simultaneous interpretation is available for this session. For service in Korean, set your device on Channel 5. For English, select Channel 6, Channel 7 for Chinese, and Japanese on Channel 8. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to Ms. Sakata Natsuko, who will moderate this session. Everyone, please welcome Ms. Sakata.
Thank you very much. Shall we start? Good afternoon, distinguished guests. Welcome to 2022 Jeju Forum TCS WIGO session. It is a great honor for me to be your moderator for this momentous occasion. My name is Natsuko Sakata. I'm a Deputy Secretary General of the Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat, TCS. As this session topic says, rapid aging and fast urbanization brought some of the most important challenges and social transformations of the 21st century to China, Japan, and the Republic of Korea. Efforts have been made by the three countries at regional and international level, as well as in country-specific. This is the theme of the session. China, Japan, Korea, cooperation for smart and inclusive solutions towards an age-friendly society. In today's forum, we have three speakers from China, Japan, Korea. They will each give short 10-minute presentations around the topic. Then I will ask several probing questions in the discussion session. I hope that you will find this session informative and valuable. Before proceeding into that profound discussion, I'd like to invite Her Excellency Ambassador Obo Chen, Secretary General of TCS, for her opening remarks. SGO, please.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Symposium on China-Japan-Korea Cooperation for Smart and Inclusive Solutions Towards an Age-Friendly Society. I'm glad that Trilateral Cooperation Secretariat, TCS, in collaboration with WIGO, will be able to bring this meaningful topic at the Jeju Forum for peace and prosperity. Taking this opportunity, I would like to thank UN Habitat Executive Director, Madam Mahmoud Mohammed Sharif, and distinguished guests, experts from China, Japan, and Korea, to be sharing your valuable knowledge and insight in the next 80 minutes. China, Japan, and Korea are among the top 10 economies in the world. Such achievements can be justified by the comparison with the sheer fact that the three countries were among the poorest countries as per their per capita income right after the World War II. Reasons for such rapid changes are multifaceted. But the maintenance of a peaceful and stable Northeast Asia that the three countries have always been dedicated to, the increasingly solid economic ties and trilateral supply chains, the good governance suited to each national conditions, and the diligence and creativity of the people are no doubt among the most important ones. Now, amid the fourth industrial revolution, the three countries are taking the lead to turn modern technologies, including ICT, big data, blockchain, and AI, into real productivity. According to TCS Statistic Hub, the three countries have taken up a share of 61.4% of the world patent application, In particular, China, Japan, and Korea rank top 3 in the numbers of computer technology patent application. Fueled by digital technologies, the accumulated digital economy of the 3 countries reached to nearly 9,000 billion US dollars, accounting for more than 1/4 of the world's total. And thanks to the well-built infrastructures, the cross-border e-business became even robust, and the supply chains among the 3 countries remained uninterrupted during the pandemic. I'm happy to see how fast the world has been digitalized and how many advantages have been brought to people's lives. From various youth events held by TCS, including the most recent CJK Z Generation Youth Exchange, and even the just concluded TCS Youth Dialogue right in this place several hours ago. And I'm extremely impressed at how readily the younger generation of the 3 countries is to embrace the new tech. It is needless to say that e-commerce, e-sports, WeMedia, and live streaming have now become an integrated part of their way of life. And that is how they keep their life in shape in the toughest time during the pandemic. Moreover, it is worthy to point out that the 3 countries' endeavor on digital transformation not only benefit themselves, but the world at large. There is a well-received story that once the Rwandan ambassador to China, via a live stream e-commerce in China's e-commerce platform, sold out tens of coffee beans in just seconds. Now, such modality is changing people's life in the less developing world. If the younger generation could be the benchmark to see how far we may achieve, then the age group are the call for us to reach to a shared community with inclusiveness and equality. While the 3 countries are enjoying a rapid urbanization, one fact that could not be simply ignored is that we now have the world's largest age group among urban dwellers. By 2021, the combined number of such in the 3 countries has already accumulated to about 30% of the world-aged population. Having said so, in every mapping out urbanization, in every implementation of smart city solution, and in every adoption of new technology, we must narrow down the digital divide. We must make sure an easy, equal, and universal access to the digital applications by the age group based on their knowledge as well as their physical constraints. We must attach more importance on affordable technologies, applications, and terminal devices, taking full consideration of their demands and economic capability. We must never abandon the traditional method, which shall always be equipped and stand by, if not the main option, for the elder people to approach to in urgent and extreme cases. Furthermore, we must carry out more practical measures in remote areas where the ICT infrastructure are not well developed, so as to make sure that no one will be left behind in this era. In China, Japan, and Korea, we share a similar saying, 老树新枝, literally means old trees may spot new twigs as well. And the traditional perception of the elder people may not make contributions to our society no longer reflects the reality. This is mainly evidenced by 2 facts. On one hand, the demographic shift forces us to reconsider the labor market, which used to center on the young labor forces. And on the other hand, The much extended life expectancy in the three countries has well demonstrated the capabilities of the aged group. In the three countries has well demonstrated the capability of the aged group. In that regard, to build an age-friendly society not only benefits the aged group, but also create incentives to socio-economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, aging society, digital economy, urbanization, and sustainable development are the key areas of trilateral cooperation, which are witnessed by the documents adopted for consecutive trilateral summit meetings. As common assets of the three countries of China, Japan, and Korea, TCS has been dedicated to consolidating different sectors and communities in the three countries for an enhanced cooperation in such areas. To conclude, I hope my remark will help to enrich our discussion today, and I wish a total success of today's symposium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Secretary General Oh. We are also pleased to share congratulatory remarks from our partner today. Now we have remarks from Ms. Park Jun-suk, Secretary General of World Smart Sustainable Cities Organizations, WIGO. Ms. Park, please to get the floor.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests and scholars and ladies and gentlemen. I'm highly honored to co-host such a meaningful event with TCS in Jeju Peace Forum 2022. First of all, I'd like to deliver my gratitude to Ambassador Obuchien, Secretary General of TCS, for recognizing this important topic together, smart and inclusive solutions toward age-friendly society. And also, I express my special thanks to Madame Mamouna Sharif, Executive Director of UN Habitat, for addressing insightful keynote speech today. She is one of the most active and eminent global figure in promoting sustainable, inclusive smart city. She was mayor of Seberang Perai and Penang Island. Those are our WIGO members as well. If you have chance to look into the structure of WIGO, since established in 2010 by 50 founding member cities, WIGO is a membership-based international organization consisting of over 200 members for local governments, including Jeju Island, and corporations and national and regional institutions committed to transformation of cities into smart, sustainable smart cities. WIGO serves as an international platform for cities to improve the quality of life, innovate in delivery of public service, and strengthen regional competitiveness. As we enter a new and more digitized post-COVID era, the role of WIGO as a global knowledge exchange platform is more important than ever, enabling the global smart city community to learn from each other and adapt quickly to fast digitization we are witnessing today. While the global population is still increasing, most of the advanced nations are facing a rapid aging society, mainly due to low birth rate, especially in Northeast Asia region, including Korea, China, and Japan, is expected to face the most rapid population decline in the near future. As an example, Republic of Korea fertility rate is at 0.81, the lowest among the OECD countries, and probably in the world. the number of young people getting married has decreased. And even after being married, today's young generation is now more cautious about giving birth and raising a child as well. On top of it, the recent outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change have pushed the population decline into a demographic cliff. This global trend underlines that the working age population is also decreasing rapidly and simultaneously accelerating automation to replace the shrinking workforce. Before the pandemic, digital transformation was a matter of choice for leaders and citizens. But now, digital transformation has become inevitable for the survival of our human race. To this end, we must discuss improving governance in the public sector and adopting technology innovations in the private sector and establishing global consensus for a smart, sustainable cities for all. For today's discussion, I'd like to make two suggestions. First, inclusive smart city for women. This is not about a sort of feminism or empowerment of women, but I believe that this is a necessary means for the survival of mankind. And second, reducing digital divide in aging society. As Secretary General Chen said, in near future, the isolation and exclusion of digital vulnerables will go beyond online and spill onto our real lives. It is very meaningful to have this opportunity to discuss this important agenda and with a representative of 3 countries at the Jeju Peace Forum. The whole world will pay attention our discussion to the effort led by Korea, China, and Japan to create sustainable model for smart city of aging society. WIGO would like to invite TCS leadership in continuing this meaningful effort among the 3 countries together with WIGO. And I hope you have a wonderful experience and knowledge sharing through this session. And I believe that we will be able to reach very important progress for the smart, sustainable, age-friendly society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your quite suggestive remarks, Ms. SG Park. We have only 80 minutes session, so for this gigantic theme, there are so many important points, including those suggested by SG Park, that we should follow up, if not consumed during this session. Okay, now I'm pleased to invite Ms. Mamuna Mohammed Sharif, Executive Director of UN Habitat. Due to her schedule, Ms. Sharif could not deliver the speech lively. However, she kindly sent us a recorded video. So let's play the video.
Excellencies, honorable guests, distinguished delegates, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. I am honored to speak to all of you gathered today for this important session of the Jeju Forum for Peace and Prosperity. UN Habitat is the United Nations Agency for Cities and Human Settlements, committed to a sustainable urban future. The UN Secretary General has stressed the fundamental role of international cooperation to address the most pressing challenges of our time, promoting peace, delivering the Sustainable Development Goals, and preventing disasters and crises of all kinds. UN Habitat has a key role to support cities and local communities around the world in achieving these goals. This session is a great example of international cooperation by bringing together officials and experts from China, Japan, and the Republic of Korea. Inequality is increasing in every region of the world. With rising inflation, climate crisis, and wars, even those fortunate enough to be born in the developed world will face homelessness and unemployment. By 2050, 2 out of 3 people will live in urban areas. Cities are critical to bring together diverse people to solve our climate emergency, future pandemics, the housing crisis, violence, and conflict. As we work towards a better urban future, dealing with urban crisis demands a fundamental shift in how we live and shape our cities. By strengthening participation and inclusion, we can solve this crisis. Innovation and people-centered smart cities are the vehicle for implementing this at the local level. Together, we must find smart solutions and digital technologies adapted to the local context to achieve transformative change. UN Habitat is committed to human rights and social inclusion as well as bridging the digital divide. Together, we can create the future we need and meet the ambitions set out in the Sustainable Development Goals, the new urban agenda, and the Jeju Forum for Peace and Prosperity. UN Habitat stands ready to work with all of you to advance smart and inclusive solutions towards peaceful and prosperous cities and communities. Thank you.
Sherry for messages, especially encouraging us by concluding such as work together to advance more inclusive solutions towards peaceful and prosperous cities and communities. We expect UN Habitat would have more to collaborate with us on smart city and aging society areas in East Asia. Thank you. Thanks for all excellent remarks, speeches. And now let's begin the session with our first speaker, Professor Ren Yuan from China. Professor Ren is from Fudan University, School of Social Development and Public Policy, and a senior researcher of Institute of Population Research, IPR. He was the recipient of the 2007 Chinese Young Demographer Award from National Population and Family Planning Committee, and 2012 New Century Scholar Award from National Ministry of Education of China. His recent publications include China's Population Development Report, 1949 to 2018, China's Next Urbanization, Post-Demographic Transition. Professor Ren, so the stage is yours. So for 10 minutes, please. Hello, Professor Ren.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks to the chairman, and good afternoon. And the topic of my talk is the theme of this session. So, aging is a major global trend in the 21st century. We can see from these figures. To see in East Asia, Japan, South Korea, and China have already become so-called aged societies. And especially Japan has already become a super aged society. In China, the proportion of population aged 65 and above was 14.2% last year, and will grow to around 30% by 2050. So these countries are confronting similar challenges of high degrees of aging and rapid paces of aging. Another major trend in today's global development is scientific and technological progress, just as the former keynote mentioned, especially when it comes to digitization. Digitization is changing the fabric of society and economy, and create new tools and demand for governance. Demographic changes can combine with scientific and technological progress to lead to a future society supported by smart technologies. And we could call this new social pattern as a smart aged society. The transition towards a smart aged society requires continuous investment in the research and development of technologies and in the real-world application of these technologies. A good framework for smart elderly care has 5 components. Firstly, smart technologies can provide high-quality services for the elderly and satisfy their diverse needs. Secondly, as the technology serves the elderly, wearable devices and the Internet of Things can collect data on the elderly and their interactions with their surroundings. Thirdly, the collected big data can form a platform on the cloud. The standardization of the data and the construction of data storage infrastructures can help promote the sharing of data between different contexts. Fourthly, data mining, machine learning, model simulations, and artificial intelligence can build on the data to improve the development of a smart service system. Finally, we can apply smart elderly care under different scenarios, increase the supply of various services, and bolster the application of information technology in all stages of life cycle. Such smart technologies can be used in preventive care, medical treatment, restorative care, nursing and hospice care. By learning about the lifestyles of elderly as well as their specific needs, smart technologies can provide variegated, personalized, and targeted services. And smart elderly care can update the service systems through continuous technological innovations and applications. The transition towards a smarter aged society is not simply a matter of various technological innovations. It also needs to occur in tandem with economic and industrial development, with improvements in the social service systems, and with institutional growth in management capacities. So to build a smarter aged society, we need to establish and improve an entire ecosystem with technological, economic, social, and institutional dimensions. According to existing estimates, smart health and elderly care will create an industry of considerable size. The industry involves the production and sales of smart technological products such as chips, sensors, wearable devices, and domestic services, robots, electronic wheels, etc., and elderly care service industry. In areas such as pharmaceutical production, medical instruments, biotechnological, as well as health and medicine, and smart elderly care will draw financial resources from a large and diverse array of funders to support entrepreneurship. To build a social service system featuring smart elderly care, smart technology should be well integrated into different scenarios and concrete social life. Smart technology could be used to at-home care, community service, telehealth, and remote services, and institutional care to better satisfy the specific needs of the elderly. And one prominent challenge for the development of smart technologies in an aging society is the digital divide. The digital divide may exclude the elderly or exclude the poor people, especially the eldest of the elderly, from a digitalized society. To achieve digital inclusion to solve various digital divides is important. In addition, A smart aged society should deal with technology-society relations. Technology should serve the people by meeting the needs of the elderly and by bolstering social engagement among the elderly. People's lives cannot be controlled by technology and the data system. And the technology cannot be allowed to become a force that controls human society. As a smart aging society develops, institutions must update themselves for digital governance. For example, as we apply smart technologies to elderly care, we collect a large volume of big data on demographic and behavioral information. This creates risks for data security and individual privacy. And as governments deal with aging through smart elderly care, they need to adopt reforms in public management and related institutions. Thus, as we transition towards a smart and inclusive aged society, we need to establish an ecosystem with technological, economic, social, and institutional dimensions. Governments, companies, social organizations, research centers, educational institutions, as well as other entities all have to play in the process. Only then can we use smart technologies to improve elderly care services and build a smarter, wealthier, and livelier aging society.
Professor Ren, sorry to interrupt you, but you have 3 minutes remaining. Thank you.
Okay, yes, okay, it's okay. So since the 2010s, China has started to place emphasis on the integration of internet, the Internet of Things and elderly care. In 2017, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the Ministry of Civil Affairs, and the National Health Commission jointly
Professor Ren, sorry to interrupt again, but the screen, your PowerPoint disappeared. Could you show it again?
What's?
Yes, thank you.
Huh?
It's back.
It's okay?
Yep.
Oh, okay. In the 2017, the three ministry of Chinese government initiate an action plan for smart elderly care. The first phase of the program went from 2017 to 2020, and the second phase is ongoing from 2021 to 2025. Building upon the concept of Internet Plus and other smart technologies, this initiative have established numerous and various experimental programs and model programs across China. With these exploratory efforts, China is moving toward a smart aged society. As people take stock of what occurred in these explorations and tackle specific problems that emerge from these trials, new businesses developing knowledge about smart elderly care can spread across society. Meanwhile, we can also generate new knowledge through these trials as they provide us with data, with research questions, and with new demands. Research and application shall follow one another in a virtuous cycle. When it comes to smart elderly care, Japan, South Korea, and other countries have accumulated rich experiences in the technological innovation, service application, and institution building. This means that there are many opportunities for industrial and broader social cooperation between countries. By learning from one another, all countries can benefit as they develop smart technologies for their aging populations. So in sum, with progress and reforms in our technologies, our economy, our institutions, and our society as a whole, we will continue to upgrade the smart aged society as our populations continue aging. All members of society, including the elderly, will benefit from this development. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ren. Smashing. Next up, I'd like to invite Professor Lee Soo-kwon, who is on the stage with me. Professor Lee is from Graduate School of Public Administration at Seoul National University. From 2017, he's been serving as a planning committee member of Presidential Committee of Aging Society and Population Policy. Recently, he led a number of governmental research projects on evaluation of integrated care services for elderly people in the city of Jeju. Currently, he participates in the research projects focusing on the issue of smart city technology and elderly health care. Professor Lee, please. 10 minutes. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Sakada, and hello everybody. I'm really pleased and honored to have an opportunity to present at the Jeju Forum today. Okay, here's the table of contents of my today's presentation. I'll first briefly talk about the general contents of the smart city policy of Korean governments, and then I will talk about which policies are related with this, the main topic of this session. And then lastly, I will introduce two cases that are relevant to the theme of this session, which among which I am currently participating in. So those are the last two cases. Okay, so here is the definition made by the Korean government. I extracted this whole contents from the government documents, which is publicly available on the government website. And this is the formal definition by the Korean government smart city definition. And as you can see here, if you look at closely and you can get to know that what are the purposes of the Korean government smart city policy. The first one is the quality of the life of a citizen. The second is enhance the sustainability of the cities themselves. And then the third one is foster the new industry by utilizing technologies. So those three aspects are the main purposes, goals of the smart city policy of Korean government. And most importantly, and showed in the first place is the quality of life of the citizens, and that is the goal of the policy, which are relevant to the topic of this session. Korean government has particular interest in smart city policy because they think the country of Korea has advantages compared to other countries. They, in terms of technology or in terms of lifestyles or wide penetration and usage of smart city technologies among citizens. So they started their smart city policy as early as year 2007, and the development of the smart city policy can be divided into three different phases. The first one is construction of a new city. So that in that period, the Korean government basically focused on the physical construction of the infrastructure and development of technology. And second stage is a system linkage phase. And lastly, the most recent phase is the smart city development phase. So the terminology, they use different terminology. In the early period, they used the terminology of U-city, ubiquitous city. So that's the meaning of the ubiquitous city conveys like more emphasis on the physical or technical aspect of the smart city. But smart city, the terminology of smart city has a nuance of more emphasis on the human problems or lifestyles or like more human-centric, thought about a viewpoint of the of looking at the smart city. So this is the evolvement of the smart city policy. Okay, so as I just mentioned, they shifted their attention and they shifted their focus of the national policy from physical construction or development toward the more, humane or more focused on the life, the well-being of the citizens. So you can see that this shift in the direction and the focus of the Korean government's policy from the visions suggested by Korean government's smart city policy. So they suggested three visions. The first one is sorry, I have a bad eyesight. I cannot see properly. Okay, the first one is solving various problems of residents. So it's mostly related with the quality of life. And the second one is the inclusiveness. So it's basically, in accordance with the theme of this session. So they are aiming toward constructing inclusive and human-centered smart city. And lastly, they put an emphasis on the global collaboration. So this is also in accordance with the three countries collaborating events like today. So yeah, so I'll just skim through this because due to the time constraints. So they are doing national pilot projects in two cities in Korea. Sejong is a administrative capital city, and Busan is the second largest city in Korea, and they are doing national pilot projects for smart city, and they include various topics, include citizens' health and elder care, and Busan also has a health component. Okay, so next one is healthcare components in Korea's smart city policy. So if you look at the national plan or local government's plan or projects which are ongoing in Korea, you can easily find many different components which are related with the elderly health care. But I just brought in just 4 cases which are related with the elderly health care, and they are among the regulatory sandbox projects which are ongoing right now. And currently 34 projects are ongoing for the regulatory sandbox projects, and 4 of which are indirectly related with the elderly health care. The first one is like they collect the data from digital shoes. So they collect the data how often they walk, and they do how actively participate in the physical activity, and they, based on the collected data, they distribute the smart token, and with the token they can purchase various services for healthcare management. And the second one is providing services for the users of electric wheelchair. So it's like security warnings or lighting function for night, so on. And the third one is the emergency video treatment instruction system. So currently in Korea, the regulation does not allow video treatment from online, but for the purpose of this demonstration project, they just removed the regulation for this project, and they are testing how efficiently they can treat the patients in case of emergency. And lastly, they are providing services based on the collection of life log and medical information, which are collected from various data sources. So those are the 4 regulatory sandbox projects which are ongoing in Korea. And lastly, I will introduce 2 projects that I'm currently participating. How
2
many
minutes.
2 minutes,
2
okay.
minutes.
So I'll just use 1 minute for each project. Okay, so first one is the O2O service model for chronic disease care based on the digital technology. So O2O stands for offline to online to offline. So they collect the data from offline users. So the users are chronic disease patients who are suffering from blood pressure problem or diabetes. So they collect the data from and the patients enter their medical record into the app, and the measurement device can automatically transmit the data to the app, and through the internet, the medical staff can check the each patient's medical record, and they provide intervention services like advice for treatment or for various instructions for lifestyle or having a medicine on time and so on. So those are the screen captures of the user's app. So they are supposed to enter their medical records and life habits and so on. So I will just came through. And the last project is similar to the previous one. This is a health and medical safety net model through ICT connected information sharing. So this is currently happening in city of Jeju in local area of Korea. And they collect the data in connection with the national database management, the national database managed by the national health insurance company, and then they connect the data with their integrated service care data, and then they provide individually customized healthcare services to their citizens. So those are the efforts that Korean governments are currently making. So as for the conclusion, I can draw 4 takeaways. The first one is Korean government are aiming toward constructing inclusive city, and they are more focused on the problem solving than just the technological development or physical infrastructure. The second one is that they are trying and they are making various experimental attempts to do the innovation, and those include sandbox regulation or living labs and pilot project demonstrations and so on. And thirdly, they also put an emphasis on the international cooperation. And lastly, they provide preventive management of health and prevention of alienation from society to the elderly, and so that they can provide a smart service to the aged people. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much. Another wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. Now we are off to our third speaker, Professor Hiroko Akiyama from from University of Tokyo. Professor Akiyama has conducted a number of cross-national surveys and is widely recognized as an expert on issues of global aging. She's known for long-running research on elderly issues in Japan, and more recently, she researched on Kamakura Living Lab, a platform for open innovation by co-creation among users, industry, government, and academia. 秋山先生、お待たせいたしました。どうかよろしくお願いいたします。10分でお願いします。こんにちは。Professor Akiyama, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm quite grateful, for the invitation to this prestigious Jeju Forum. And Professor Ren and Professor Lee focused on smart elder care and healthcare. My focus is on another urgent issue in rapidly aging societies, that is seniors as workforce. Okay, I will start with a brief description of the background. And the population aging is a global phenomenon, and Japan is one of the front runners of rapidly aging society. As you see here, we live long and low fertility rate. So now, as a result, 29% of the Japanese population is aged 65 and older. And the total population started to decline in 2010. And as you see, the working age population has been steadily increasing, and age 65 and plus increasing. And this slide shows old age dependency ratios. In 1965, 50 years ago, there are 9.1% to support one older person. Now the ratio is 1 to 2.4. And we're expecting the ratio will become almost 1 to 1 in 2050. So obviously, we will not be able to sustain the social security system and national economy as well. I just just skip some of them. Okay, we have been conducting a panel survey following about 6,000 Japanese aged 60 and older, basically every 3 years since 1987, looking at changes in major domains of their lives with increasing age, health, economic status, and social relations. Let me also skip, because 10 minutes seems to be quite short, okay? So, okay, this is the result. Anyway, I think, what we found in this, the panel survey is, I think, the people stay relatively healthy and keep independence until mid-70s, and then they started, need some assistance. Okay, and so population age 65 and older is rapidly increasing and double in the next 10 years. So this trajectory poses a serious problem. Okay. At this point, in my career, I moved from University of Michigan to the University of Tokyo. And when I returned to Japan in 1997, Japanese population was rapidly aging, and I felt we already know what issues are, what we need now, solutions and actions. So to address various issues, in this rapidly aging society, Institute of Gerontology at the University of Tokyo launched a social experiment in the community. The existing infrastructure of communities was built when the population was much younger. And we need to redesign both hard and soft infrastructure of communities. We are trying to redesign communities for meeting the needs of highly aged society. We want to build communities where people could live for 100 years, staying healthy, active, connected, and live with a sense of security. This is not a retirement community. It is an ordinary community for people of all ages. This is the social experiment. We evaluate the effects of interventions at individual level and community level and cost. And we make policy recommendations based on the scientific evidence. And this is an overview of our project. It requires considerable scientific and social innovations. And we have two experimental sites, one in metropolitan area, it's called Kashiwa City, and the other in rural area. Within a limited time today, I can share the progress of only one project. We work the workplaces for the second life. We live longer and we work longer. As many of you might remember, this is the title of the OECD report published in 2005. And we are not live longer, but also live healthier. These slides compare the usual walking speed of people in the same age groups from 1992 to 2017. As you see, men and women in all age groups significantly improved in walking speed. The changes are amazing. Also, the current seniors are better educated compared with previous generations. As you see, the people who finished only elementary school or middle school drastically decreased, and college graduate increased over time. Several years ago, the Japanese Association of Geriatric Gerontology made official pronouncement to raise the definition of old age from 65 to 75 years old. 3 years ago, we conducted a survey asking 5,000 people aged 50 to 64 what they want to do after age 65. Number one, over half of the respondents mentioned they want to work full-time or part-time. Number two was learning. And the 70% of people aged 60 and older wants to work until age 70 and longer. This is a graph of the report published by Ministry of Health and Welfare. It shows the labor participation rate of seniors and their medical care costs by prefecture have moderate correlation. So expansion of job opportunity for seniors is essential to ensure sustainability of the society to maintain and enhance the labor force, social security, finance, and economic development. The prediction of labor demands and supply in 2040 looks bleak. We lose 8.45 million workers in next 17 years. Seniors need to be producers. Social security benefits exceed 100 trillion Japanese yen. Seniors need to be taxpayers. Expansion of senior market is also important. Seniors will be active consumer. This is an important issue, at the societal level, but there are obviously a number of macro policy issues to address. And this slide shows if we work until 75, the old age dependency ratios will considerably change. People who wish to work even after age 65, and work is good for health. So we started a project called Workplaces for the Second Life. Kashira City, its urban site, is a typical bed town of Tokyo. A huge number of baby boomers who commuted to work in Tokyo retired and came back to this community. We are creating age-friendly workplaces and flexible scheme of employment suitable for the second life. We created many workplaces, and all workplaces are operated by business owners in the private sectors. The wage varies depending on the nature of work, but the minimum wage is guaranteed for all jobs. Using work sharing, we developed a flexible employment scheme for both employers and senior workers. Older persons decide when and how long they work. This is the seminar. And these are senior workers at work. It is essential for senior workers to learn the basic ICT skill for participating in the job sharing group. We evaluate the effects of working after retirement age at the individual level and the community level. These are some of the indicators. This is kind of the way to evaluate. And we are still collecting data, but the analysis results so far show the positive effects of working for both individual and societal level. Based on the scientific evidence from community experiment, we made policy recommendations to the national government, Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. Based on our policy recommendations, in 2019, the legislation was passed at the National Diet to institutionalize this program. This is this one probably. Yeah, this is the guidebook we published for disseminating the program to other communities. Now it is spreading throughout the main country. Okay. Seniors' labor force participation is essential for sustainability of social security system and economy as well. We need to reform the pension system, reduce various barriers at workplaces, and enhance seniors' employability. We also test various products which provide older workers with safe and productive work environment. This is a simple power-assisted device for reducing the stress on the lower back in farming and nursing care, developed by Hokkaido University and Mitsubishi Electric Company. And this woman is teaching Japanese from home to the young students in Vietnam. And we are now working on the platform for job matching assisted by AI with a major employment agency, Recruit and IBM. One of the current projects is to develop software capable to create the competent full-time worker, one competent full-time worker composed of 3 persons with different skills. Not only the older seniors, but also include some, the physically or mentally challenged people. And we call mosaic the workers. So this is the platform, AI platform for job matching. For a long time, we made the individual and collective efforts to extend life expectancy. When the average life expectancy approached 80 years, the focus shifted to the extension of healthy life expectancy. Now we are about to seek the extension of years being engaged in the society, the extension of engaged life expectancy. This kind of social experiment requires not only the collaboration of researchers in different disciplines, but also full collaboration with local government, healthcare institutions, NPOs, business community, and residents. And needless to say, technological innovations are essential to achieve our goal. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Akiyama. And sorry for the inconvenience for time restraint. So as you see, the Professor Akiyama focused on the very unique workforce perspective. So it is more like a very strong micro perspective, but still, as she illustrated, in Japan, in the lab experiment, they are involving so many stakeholders to make the really the workable ecosystem to as such. And at the slides, the final slides shows that, so she redefined the elderly issues, first starting out with life expectancy issue, and then healthy life expectancy issue, and then the latest version is engaged life expectancy issue. Professor Ren from China, he illustrated kind of a very big integral whole ecosystem, but experiments going on, enriched by various researches, probably the international cooperation, might accompany, and anyway, seeking the very good spiral of this ecosystem towards better development. And Professor Lee highlighted very smart urban planning policies in Korea, and also the good technology application in it. But since he's a welfare policy expert, he also has a very good micro perspective. So anyhow, so all 3 wonderful speakers highlighted very respective, unique macro, combination of macro and micro perspective. Thank you very much, all of those speakers. Now, the time is less than 20 minutes. I really have to go forward. So actually, I would like to dig down a little bit more challenge side of respective country approaches. I actually shared in advance some questions to each speaker. So I go on to that question. So first we start with Professor Ren. So my question is this: as the world's most populous country, China has more than 160 million senior citizens who are 60 years old or older. In this background, what is the challenge of utilizing technology to solve the aging-related issues, and how the technology, economy, society, institution, integral ecosystem play a role? Professor Ren, please answer in 1 minute.
I think the main challenge is how to build the ecosystem. And it is a big challenge. And there are in each dimensions there are a lot of challenges. For example, in economic dimensions, people's income is the main factor to influence the smarter society. Especially in the high unequal society of China, there are huge gap between urban and rural. So the economic gap is a challenge, and also the divide, the digital divide, is a challenge. So there are many challenges.
Great, thank you very much. So now next question is Professor Lee. 50% population in Korea are living in Seoul metropolitan area, and the percentage of the 65-year-old and above citizens reached 17%. Is it an advantage to adopt smart solution policy in these densely populated areas? How Korea utilized this feature to strengthen connection among different age groups? 1 minute.
Okay. I think densely populated area has both advantages and disadvantages in terms of in relation to smart city technology, but mostly advantage. I believe that most of the smart city technology are based on the big data. So data collection is a very big and important business. Densely populated area can have advantage in when they are trying to collect the data and building a big data database. So through the construction of a big database, they can also promote the industrial promotion and the development of new technologies. And also they can enjoy the economies of scale when they are building integrated service platform, so that they can use and build the platform wisely and efficiently. But if it means that densely populated area means that there are so many service recipients in a restricted area, then maybe there can be an over demand for the service, and so the over demand can exceed the service provision capacity. So in that cases, that can be a disadvantage. But I think if those conventional services has to be provided anyway, even after launching the smart city, then I think smart city technology can increase the efficiency of service provision of conventional service in a great way. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now back to the screen. Professor Akiyama, this question is for you. We know that Japan is the leading country in aging and the front runner of elderly work engaged. Japanese social awareness of aging is constantly changing with the times. Could you share the development process of Japanese perceptions towards elderly people and how the changes help the society reach age-friendly society? 1 minute, please.
Okay. Well, traditionally, it was considered when people turned 60 years old, they go back to the state when they were born. Okay, they get freed from all responsibilities, including the work and taking care of like children. And actually, most people age 60 and older are fragile, kind of frail then. Okay, perception and expectation of seniors changed over time. And in my view, the changes were brought largely by seniors themselves. As I showed a couple of slides in my presentation, seniors have become healthier and better educated. And it is really amazing. And they wish to they have roles, stay connected and engaged in the society. They don't simply feel happy by taken care of by their children's family. Rather, they want to be independent as long as possible. And age-friendly society is an inclusive society where, regardless of age or gender or disability, everyone has roles and connected, engaged in the society within each person's capacity. It is easy to say, but turning it to reality is not that easy, and it requires a considerable social and technological innovation.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you very much for such a candid answer from all of you. So in front of the same challenge, compare notes, learning from others' lessons, and furthermore, joint efforts of cooperation may make some differences in building sustainable, harmonious coexistence, local community-wise and region-wise, which is the core theme of Jeju from 2022. So now we have, less than 10 minutes. Okay, we dive into the final, very instrumental question. So we have run through today's discussion, and so we have seen the three countries have different unique approaches and perspectives to face the same challenge. Now, since the CJK, three countries are among most spearheaded in the world towards aged or super-aged society, so it is quite much instrumental for us to learn from each other. So my next question, final question, is to each of you, will be from your point of view, how or what kind of trilateral cooperation or joint efforts make contributions to these common challenges among the three countries? So this time I'll give you 2 minutes each. So let's start from Professor Ren.
Okay, thank you. So I think the common challenges need common collaborations and cooperations. I think the first cooperation is the industrial cooperation. The industrial chain, the smart society need rebuild the industrial system. So the industrial chain and from production to service provide the space for cooperation among our three countries and among in the world. So and the second cooperation, I think we could learn from each other. As Professor Akiyama mentioned, the Japan is, as you mentioned, Japan is the forerunner of aging process, and Japan have a lot of good experience as the forerunner, and also South Korea. So and Japan and South Korea have experimental sites, and in China also there are plenty experimental programs. So these programs can have detailed research and knowledge sharing, and this knowledge sharing can push forward cooperation, and especially some collaboration in the context of each country's special background. And so learning from each other and industrial cooperation is in my mind for future cooperations.
Thank you very much. Professor Lee?
Yeah. In order to give an answer to this question, I looked up government documents in advance, and I found the fact that Korean governments are making various efforts to strengthen international cooperation, but they are mostly focused on exporting smart city. So they are more interested in technology aspects. So technology aspect of the exporting the technology focused smart city is the major concern. But among the three countries, Korea, Japan, and China, I think we can begin with policy sharing, experience sharing, and knowledge sharing. That's the good starting point. And then if we go further, then we can do cross-validation demonstration project across different cities within different countries. And also, I can think of strengthening cooperation at the level of private sector. So maybe academia or industry can formulate the network which have interest and expertise in smart cities and elder care. And maybe we can organize, joint academic events or joint research project. I think that those are the good points. And so through those efforts, I think we can enjoy the mutual prosperity. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yes, Professor Akiyama, please.
Yes. Well, technological innovation is already quite impressive, and we certainly will pick up speed. But social innovations, such as innovation of social system and people's mind, and also lifestyle, running late. And the three countries, Korea, China, and Japan, have a long history of cultural and economic relations, and we share culture and traditions. I hope by sharing ideas and experiences, this trilateral cooperation make contribution to acceleration of social innovation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. So I pretty much express our gratitude to all of the speakers for those insightful suggestions, because TCS is geared to facilitate the territorial cooperation. And of course, WIGO is promoting the international cooperation, especially from the perspective of cities, smart cities. So thank you very much for those quite useful suggestions. So as all three of the distinguished speakers highlighted the meaningfulness, the value of their sharing experience. So these very valuable comments tell us that we need to cooperate more to strengthen our communications, inspire each other, neighbors, and to increase our sense of peaceful, prosperous region as we head forward on the same challenge. So now, almost we are running out of time, so it's time for me to quite wrap up, although I would like to go on for another hours, but I have to close this session. So actually, 2022 is a special year. TCS identified through our Trilateral statistics database. Actually, this database you can see upstairs in our promotion booth. Our staff are standby, so you can ask any questions, including those elderly issues, statistics anyway. So we at TCS identified through this statistics data hub some of the stunning numbers. The combined urban population ratio among CJK, three countries, reached 65.5% in 2021. And cities are home to 65% of all older population in CJK. So three countries have the largest elderly population in the world, with more than 216 million people, making up about 30% of the world's older population, 65 years old and above. The demographic issue of CJK, three countries, reaches a turning point. So throughout this session, we learned about what challenges three countries face and what we can cooperate on this area. So we wish all the ages groups will pay more attention to this issue and become part of it. Society as a whole may prosper. Young citizens will become old one day. We should take care of each other, and that is truly the age-friendly society we want. So I hope today's session will open a new chapter for three countries' demographic and aging issue, and cooperation between CJK, three countries, admits of no delay. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining this session, and please kindly join me to applaud all the speakers.
그럼 이것으로 세션을
And I
마치겠습니다.
hope you enjoy the session. Let's meet again, maybe next year. Thank you very much.